because I know Mike is in the background there saying, hey, we need to make this more accessible. So that's always good because we want to make these sessions as accessible as possible. Welcome everyone to this Dynamics 365 and Power Platform user group virtual edition. We are the virtual user group. I am Matt Collins-Jones. I'm joined with my colleague on the committee here, Mike Hartley, as well as various other user group leaders, just because it's just the talent that we have in the pot today. If you aren't familiar with the virtual user group, we run this every once in a while when we can find a slot when everyone's not in, Vegas or Denmark or somewhere else, because the conference is all around the world. But this is a user group where it's always virtual, allowing people from anywhere in the world to connect and deliver sessions. If you're interested in delivering a session to our user group, please do reach out to myself or Mike Hartley, or you can contact us via the Dynamics website as well to say that you want to request to do a session. We run 2 sessions every single time we do this. We run more of an intro or beginner level session and more of a technical esque session. Today's is a slightly change from that, as in we have Sharon is going to be talking. Sharon and her team are going to be going through a mentoring thing, so not specifically tech, but it is fantastic in terms of mentoring and understanding all those great aspects. I'm not going to steal the limelight from Sharon. She'll do much better introducing herself than I will. And then we do have later on, we have a more techie focused presentation. So the agenda for today: intros. I'm going to do my best to try and talk for the next 6 minutes so that we start on time, although I may let Sharon and the team have a little bit more time. We're going to have a short 5-minute break. So hopefully Sharon and the team will finish in and around 7 o'clock. If she finished earlier, great. But we'll have a small little comfort break, go grab a drink, go to the toilet, and then we'll kick things off in the second half with our tech talk, which is all about generative pages from tech to adoption by Carl Cookson and James Connelly. And we'll have a little bit of time to wrap up and finish. It's one of these things of you don't have to go home, but you just have to leave here, which is I might leave the chat, but you guys can stay on and keep on chatting if you really want to. But yeah, I'm gonna leave my office for a bit. Okay. Firstly, we do want to thank our sponsors. So if you don't know, the Dynamics 365 and Power Platform user group in the UK has numerous sponsors. They are what make all the sessions possible. I know what you're thinking. This is a virtual session. How do you need money? Well, we need infrastructure. We need funds for things like the Meetup platform. We need funds for our marketing. We do in-person sessions. So we do all-day sessions in the north and in the south. Those cost money. We do evening sessions, those cost money. We order pizzas for those sessions. I have pizza right next to me. It was not ordered. I bought it in the shop myself. Although I think I did go to M&S for it, so it's slightly fancy tonight. I guess I'm splurging a little bit. But none of this, except for the pizza, would be possible without our sponsors. So I do want to thank Develop, Digpacks, Infinity Group, Restro, Digital, Sear 365, Docs 42, Magic Global, Crimson, and Leapwork, because again, without these people and without these organizations, the sessions such as tonight would not be possible, as well as all other great sessions. And if you're not familiar, we have user groups regionally all around the UK, from Newcastle to Cambridge, Birmingham, and everywhere in between. I'm not going to list them all because I'll be here all day. We have a lot of user groups and it's fantastic. So if you're not familiar with those, do go check them out. So speaking of sponsors, how would you like to become a sponsor? We've opened up our sponsorship for our 2026 sponsors. You get amazing shout outs by a fantastic MC like me. You get regional access across the UK, giving access to all of our events. You have exposure to these sorts of to these events and others from across the UK, and we have about 30 plus meetings a year, 11 user groups, so I'm not running anymore, and over 9,000 people across socials. So if you are interested in becoming a sponsor, please contact our sponsorship lead, who is Connor Doyle, on that email address right there. And then if you need any further details, feel free to reach out to myself if you do need them, and I'll just point you in Connor's direction, because Connor is a sponsorship man. So 3 minutes early, I'm going to hand it over to Sharon. I put plus experts because Sharon comes with like a horde of people like following her that she commands.
I think we're known as the entourage.
The entourage. That's even better.
Tagging along.
Hype men.
I was thinking like it's almost like she has like a cape and people just like follow behind her, just flapping up the cape behind her, like, you know.
Beyonce has a whole team of people with like the wind machine and everything.
That is the first word I associate with Sharon. You know, I think when I think of Sharon Smith, I think Beyonce.
Nailed it. Yeah.
Instead of Queen Bee, it's Queen S. So I'm going to hand it over to the very capable hands of Sharon and her team, talking about the voices of change, real stories of mentorship in action. Feel free to steal the screen, Sharon. And team. Oh, whoever's driving. We had that joke earlier. I'm going to eat my pizza in the background.
Yes, absolutely. So, welcome, everybody. And I'm not going to actually carry on talking because I'm going to hand you over to our question master extraordinaire, Amy Hemingway. All yours, Amy.
Hopefully you can all see that. I'm hoping everyone can see the slide. Perfect. Well, thank you. Nice to see everyone. I think this is my first virtual user group. I normally see lots of these familiar faces in person. So we will make a start. Thank you, Matt, for all the introductions. So I won't cover the sponsor slide again, but I think we all know the reason why we're here. So thank you very much to everyone there. We're going to do a quick round of introductions for those who haven't met the team before, and we will start with Sharon.
Thank you very much. So my name is Sharon Smith. I am a senior Dynamics 365 solution architect working for the wonderful Capgemini, a name that you're going to hear a number of times tonight. I am also a dual Microsoft Business Apps MVP. I hold both the customer experience and customer service awards, one of only 4 people in the world, apparently, to actually have the dual Biz Apps awards, which boggles my mind. But probably the most important thing for tonight is I am the founder of a charity called the Mentoring Hub. And that's part of what we're actually going to be talking about tonight, but we're also going to be talking about our experiences with mentoring that basically kind of led up to the creation of the Mentoring Hub. And that's when I'll hand it over to the next person.
Okay.
My partner in crime.
Thank you very much. Yep, my name is Keith Atherton. I'm a Power Platform Solution Architect at Capgemini as well as Sharon. Pretty much copy and paste what Sharon's just said for the most part. Also Microsoft MVP for business applications, specifically Power Apps for me. Like Sharon as well and many others, I've been one of the mentors in the Women in Power Platform mentorship program. That's currently ongoing. There's a cohort. I'm one of the mentors there and it's great fun. And also Microsoft certified trainer as well. So yeah, I'll pass over to the next person.
Thank you. Victoria?
Well, I'm significantly more underwhelming than the previous 2 presenters. I am sadly not an MVP, but yes. I was a mentee in the Women in Power Platform cohort 2 now. I have worked at Legal & General for 7 years, and I am a Dynamics platform engineer. I will hand over to, I believe, the wonderful Bethany.
Yeah, just to follow that, it's a downward slope as well from here. But I am a history graduate and I've turned into a Microsoft Dynamics 365 CE and Power Platform technical consultant at Capgemini. I was also part of the Women in Power Platform mentorship program for cohort 1, where I met the lovely Sharon. And I'm also a Capgemini internal mentor on some internal schemes as well.
Lovely. Yeah, even further down the line here. Amy Hemingway, for those that haven't met me, you might have heard me at conferences. I'm quite loud and in your face. I don't mean to be. I don't work for Capgemini. Shock horror. I actually work for Delaware. Yes, thank you, John. And I'm a project manager, so I'm one of those that chases your timesheets. And apart from that, I got involved with Sharon and the team. We know each other from a past life, working in the space, shall we call it. And I am a champion for neurodiversity and inclusivity, which is why I am here. We are going to move on, but what I want to start with by saying is this session, guys, is interactive, and we want you to chat to us. We're going to talk about experiences. What I will caveat this section is that this is a safe space. So whatever we talk about here, I'd like it to stay in this safe space of this call. I am conscious we are being recorded, so if anyone starts to feel uncomfortable, please feel free to drop off until 7:05 when our colleagues James and Carl take over their section. We will cover some topics in here that can be quite hard for people, and that will include the talk of suicide, and you'll understand why soon. There are a couple of mental health first aiders I can already see on the call. John Russell and myself are certified mental health first aiders. So if anyone feels uncomfortable after the call, feel free to reach out to us and we can, we're happy to have a chat. I'm looking at John and he's nodding, or yeah, there he is. Okay. So what is the power of mentoring? Why are we better together? Victoria, do you want to take us through this section?
Sure. So I got involved with being a mentee in the Women in Power platform space through a referral from my colleague. My background is not technical. I was an operations manager for a very long time, but always had a keen interest in working with tech and being in a developing space. So my colleague recommended that I look for a mentor that would be able to guide me through the career transition and the upskilling needed to do the job that I'm currently doing. And in a surprise to probably nobody, I was matched with the wonderful Sharon, and that is why I'm here. I will say that since doing the mentee mentor program, I think my confidence personally has grown substantially, but professionally, I have been engaged in the most incredible projects and presented with some incredible opportunities, probably none of which I would have had the confidence to go for had I not gone through this process. So even people who've been in this job structure for a little while can benefit from not quite going back to basics, but looking for somebody that can guide them on the next steps in their career. I couldn't recommend it highly enough.
Thanks, Victoria. I'm going to hand over to Beth and Keith, who are going to talk a little bit more about that in terms of mentorship and being involved and how you got into this whole space.
Cool. Do you want to start, Beth?
Yeah, I'm happy to start. I think for me personally, one of the key areas of how I even ended up in mentorship was I was a really big advocate for having mentorship within like a work environment and outside of a work environment. I mean, most workplaces will kind of have some sort of internal initiative going on that you can kind of join. But as we kind of become career switchers or progressing with career, I was really keen to kind of keep those kind of mentorship relationships going outside of the workplace. And I think that sometimes can be really hard to do and navigate if you've only ever met somebody at work. So that's the great thing about like the Mentoring Hub or Women in Power platform or community calls like this, is you get this opportunity to kind of meet people who can really shape your career and your experiences, and it's not necessarily tied to employment or within employment hours. So that was me coming into it, of just having something that was just outside of work and within work as well. So yeah.
Nice one. Thanks, Beth. Yeah, for me, I've done a bit of mentoring over the years. I don't know, maybe probably the last 3 or 4 years, I've done a bit of ad hoc, and it might be people within the community who've reached out to me, seeing that I've maybe spoke at an event or two, or done a bit of blogging, or done some kind of community outreach and been part of the scene. And some people says, "Oh, I want to do more speaking. Can you help me with that?" Or I want to take the next step in my career. Can we talk about that? And some of them have been kind of formalized into, mentoring, whether it be just meeting once a month or catching up ad hoc once the ball's got rolling with things. But one of the things on the slide there on the left is the Women in Power, and that was one of the programs that I started to become part of. So, as some of us have mentioned, Sharon's been a mentor on there to a few people on this group. I didn't join cohort 1 because it was called Women in Power. I didn't realize it would be open to men to take part as well. But someone did explain they were looking for male allies, so I thought, great, I can get involved. I always like it. More than half of my people I mentor one-to-one are actually female as well, so I was glad I could be part of it as well. And that's when I was paired with the wonderful Sarah Guest, who unfortunately can't join us tonight, but that was cohort 2, and we're now on cohort 4. So yeah, another good scheme that's out there as well.
Okay. I think mentoring is absolutely fantastic, and what I want to do now is, if I move on, I actually want to hear from people about their experience of being mentored. So is there anyone on the call that's willing to come forward and chat to us about either being a mentor or a mentee? Ooh, everyone's nice and quiet now. Everyone's eating pizza, surely. My stomach's rumbling at the thought of pizza.
We timed it wrong. Food time.
We've absolutely timed it for tea time. Does anyone have any questions on mentoring or getting involved in mentoring?
John?
John?
I was hoping you might talk to us about your essential skills course, John. Oh, either you're on mute
You're
or I'm not
on
hearing
mute,
you.
John. That's 50p in the kitty, surely, for the weekend.
Yep.
It's mounting up this week with John.
Shall we, while John fixes his sound issue? Oh, are you there, John?
Yeah, I think so. Can you hear me now?
Yep,
We
we're
can.
coming through.
Yeah, good.
Sorry about
Can I
that.
have a
Yeah.
I
So,
have a quick question, if you don't mind.
oh yeah, go.
Absolutely.
How you would maybe search or join these mentorship programs, or how we can find them.
You can join and find these mentoring programs. Was that? Sorry, we lost your mic a little bit there.
Yes, please. Yeah, just the way to find or join these mentorship programs, if you don't mind.
Sharon?
Yeah. So, I mean, it all depends. There's a number of you might have a mentoring program internally at the organisation that you're working for. Most larger organisations do have a mentoring program inside. Capgemini do, and John will speak a little bit about the part of the internal course that he helps run at Capgemini based on the essential skills. But there are a number of courses which are external, as has already been mentioned. And as Beth said, that could be really nice because those relationships can stay with you regardless of where you actually move. I've moved jobs myself since I got involved in the Women in Power platform program, which is an external program that's run by a number of people, a number of women, you won't be surprised, who work for Microsoft, although it is not a Microsoft run program specifically. It's just run by women who work at Microsoft. And the nice thing that I've had is that I actually still meet every week with Beth and with Victoria. So there's a number of programs out there which are actually specifically run for women because of that diversity kind of like gap, and that is a big gap. But as you'll hear later on, when we actually start to talk a little bit later on about the mentoring hub, there's a gap that we actually see out there ourselves, people who specifically are career switchers, who have come into the sector from having had another career, which many of us have, and they just need to understand what their options are and to get some assistance in helping them find the right path for them. And so we will talk later about our own program, and it's also not just aimed at career switchers, but it also people from challenging backgrounds. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. John, I don't know if you want to actually just jump in here just quickly and speak about the courses that you're available, because I know also your essential skills course is also available outside of Capgemini, not just inside.
Yeah. So I just put a link to the chat. So someone's just asked a question about what's the level of mentoring programs pitched at. I think it's open to anyone. So one of the key things that I do at Capgemini is I don't anyone could be a mentor and anyone could be a mentee. So what you get is, I've had a few people, we've had like 12 cohorts go through now, and about 3 of those, the mentee has been at a higher level than the mentor. And they didn't know that when they first met. So it's like, in a way, it's kind of reverse mentoring. We've talked about that concept quite a lot, and I think that's quite powerful. And you can learn, I think the line between mentor and mentee, I think, starts to blur, especially if the mentee has a lot of experience, maybe from career switching, coming into this space. And I think predominantly most of us have been in this kind of area, software development, for a long period of time. We can learn quite a lot from those people because they bring a wealth of knowledge from their backgrounds.
Absolutely. I mean, from my perspective, I have learned as much from Vicky and Beth over the months that is now moving into years, as I hope that they've been able to take away from me. And that is probably one of the most important parts about the relationship between the mentor and the mentee is that it is a safe space of trust. And we all come, into relationships, whether or not they be friendships, mentorship relationships, line manager, whatever the relationship is, we bring different life experiences into those relationships. Probably the most important thing is, from our experience, is as Amy said at the top of the program, is to create that safe space. Because once you actually create that safe space and people can actually open up, you'd be really surprised at how many commonalities we have between us. That, our lives might be slightly different, but we're all facing challenges. And, once you actually start to break down those barriers and we start supporting each other, then what we can actually achieve is quite remarkable.
Love, I could see that you had your hand up for quite a while.
Yeah, but I got my answer though. But I do have this small question, because I understand we are all experienced people or we are coming from different tech backgrounds, but I just want to know whether it's okay to join some students, because I live in a very good student area. So many students will come to me and they don't even know what Power Platform is, because I can understand Power Platform is really the easy one where the students also get in and start their careers over there. So are we encouraging students, or we are only looking for some tech people? Or so is there any
Amy,
restrictions? Nothing, right?
Do you want to speak to that one, Amy? Because I know you're heavily involved with the students aren't you?
Yeah, so I don't think it really matters. I help with the analyst program. I say help, I'll offer guidance. I spoke to them a couple of weeks ago about public speaking. Funny enough, it wasn't anything technical, shall we say. I don't profess to be a techie. I'm techie in my own right. So I don't cover off technical mentoring, but I cover off all the other little bits of mentoring, the softer skills, which I know John can cover in some of his essential skills. Yeah, sorry, does that answer your question?
Yes, it do answer my question. So there is no restriction. So that's
No.
pretty much
Oh.
clear. There is no restriction at all. So
No.
we can encourage, because that's what my initial thought also for Dynamic 365 group, because I just want to bring more students
Yes.
to know like how like outside world from the university, see how the tech world is evolving, especially in Power Platform ratio. Because I live in a Manchester area, pretty much near to the University of
Yes.
Manchester, and I do got like very good amount of people who comes like, because I work with this co-working space where students also will come and sit around me. So they'll say like, okay, how to get into these kind of spaces. So they'll have these kind of questions. It might be like the British one or the international students. So yeah, I was looking to create some helpful space around them
Yeah,
for the
that's
students,
brilliant.
especially because some people might afford, some people might not, but this definitely will give some unique knowledge. That's what I believe.
And also it may be that your students, that they're not necessarily young students, they might be mature
Yeah,
students as well,
exactly.
students of any age.
Yeah.
And absolutely, you don't have to already be in the tech area. You, like you said, you might not even know what Power Platform is. You might not actually realize that it can be quite transformative for your career. We do work quite closely with people who one of the programs we're looking to do is actually working with refugees who they come into another country. It doesn't necessarily need to be the UK. It could be Germany, which takes a lot of Syrian refugees as well. And because they might be, professional people in their own country, but because they've actually moved countries because they are refugees, their qualifications aren't actually recognised in the country that they've actually moved to, and so they then end up having to do jobs which they could actually do a lot better and have a much more secure financial situation for their family, or also hold down more than one job, because we're all of those probably of us who are on this call, we either work remotely or we work hybrid. So they could do Power Platform as a second job alongside another job, and so it can open up all sorts of opportunities. And also I think one of the other things that we would also say is coming in and actually learning how to actually build your own apps with the Power Platform doesn't mean to say you necessarily have to actually move into the Microsoft space as far as becoming a consultant or becoming a developer or becoming a business analyst. You might just learn how to actually build your own app and then run your own business. And we've seen some great examples of that, where somebody has come in, they've actually learnt Power Apps, they've built an app out, and they've run their own business, for example, childcare or beauty, manicuring, hairdressing, and they've actually built out their own app in order to run their own business. And that is actually how they've actually used their technical abilities that they've actually learned. So just because you're coming into our sector and actually learning how to build using the Power Platform doesn't mean to say you have to actually then go on and be a Power Platform consultant.
Yeah, I do agree with you.
I think my advice is just pepper them with all the information that you've got, all the different groups and all the different bits, and they will get the bug and they will attend this type of thing. That's my advice, definitely. Okay, we're going to move on. I'm guessing there's no other questions. If anyone's got any questions, pop them in the chat. Keith has been answering a few. Victoria, Beth, they've all been answering in the chat as we've been going along. So thank you. So we're going to talk about the future. So Sharon, this is really, really exciting, and I'm going to flip to the next slide when you give me the nod, because lots of things are afoot for sort of like the mentoring hub and the team.
I know it's really exciting. I'm not going to dwell too long about the past, because so much has actually happened in the last few months that we really do want to focus on where we are now and where we're going. But just for those of you who aren't aware of the background, as I said, you know, myself and Keith and others on this call, we've been involved in a program called the Women in Power Platform. That's kind of like how we got into, or many of us got into, a more formal version of mentoring, and that's how I met Vicky and Beth. And this is where the trigger warning comes in, because at the end of June last year, my partner of 24 years, he took his own life. He did that because I ended our relationship of 24 years. And so I carry that guilt. And I know that everybody on this call will turn around and actually say to me that that was not, you know, I am not responsible for that. This is a conversation I have with the team on an almost daily basis. But long story short, I inherited the property where he died, which was his late parents' family home. For understandable reasons, I couldn't actually accept that estate. I didn't want it. The money from it was toxic to me for a number of reasons. So I spent a long time talking to my friends about what we should do with this money. I don't have any children. I don't have any blood relatives. And I didn't particularly want to give it all away to catch protection leave, although my cat Mocky probably would have been very happy to live on like fresh salmon every day for the rest of his life. So what we did instead is we decided to set up this charity, the Mentoring Hub. The reason it's called Heuristic Dev, the Mentoring Hub, is because Heuristic Dev is my own personal blog tag. And unfortunately, there was already the Mentoring Hub company set up on LinkedIn, so we couldn't actually nab that LinkedIn page. So that's why it is the full title is Heuristic Dev, the Mentoring Hub, but we just call it the Mentoring Hub. So we set it up. We basically, as I said, we had some chats about ways that we could actually use these funds to improve the provision of mentoring out there, because we had benefited from it so much. We had a few false starts, but we've settled down into 3 programs, and it's the 3 programs that we're going to be talking to you about. And the first program, if you flip over onto the next slide, this is probably the one that, as you can see, it's the most established at the moment. So this is a program which we call Community Supporting Community. And most of us, I hope, on this call will have actually attended some sort of community event, whether or not that be your local user group or one of the larger events that you can see listed here. These events can struggle, even more so now since COVID, to get funding. One of the things when we actually stepped into this space and we went off to Baltic Summit in Poland, which was an amazing experience for us. It really was very formative. We learned that, you see, as you will have seen at the top of the session, the call out for the sponsors who sponsor the National User Group, and they're absolutely essential. But with these big conferences, quite often they don't actually receive the funds from the big companies who sponsor them until after the event, which, you know, when we found that out in Baltic Summit, it blew our mind. So the program that we actually have, which is the sponsoring program, is we come into as a charity sponsor, a community charity sponsor, and we provide them with early doors working capital. So our sponsorship fee gives them that working capital that they actually need early doors to be able to secure the venue, stop them having sleepless nights, and know that they can actually move forward in order to be able to set up their programs. And as you can see from the list, it's proving to be an extremely popular program. We have a colleague of ours, Mel Hale, who will be going off to Shift Plus Enter in Hungary on our behalf at the end of next month. You will see a number of us. For those of you who are going to South Coast Summit, you will be able to come and talk to us in person, as we will be there this Friday and Saturday. And we will have probably what I'm just so keen to actually see, our absolute beautiful stand. We have our first ever stand at a conference that has been designed for us by our wonderful Sophia Fricker, and it's going to be so fun. So if you are at South Coast Summit, come to stand 12. You will absolutely love the design of it, and you will want a selfie in front of it. You absolutely will.
Do you want to be wearing our t-shirts as well?
Oh,
so
yeah.
if you don't spot us in the stand, you'll spot us around the venue. Just grab one of us, have a chat.
Yeah.
We don't bite. Keith might, but you know,
Well,
we're trying to train him better. But
yeah.
wearing his leopard print, I see you.
Yeah.
Nice raft top, by the way.
Yeah. Watch it, Atherton, you'll be out.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the other exciting things then is the new Speaker Academy. So this is getting people into speaking. That's what happened for me a couple of years ago when I was voluntold. It's actually the 2-year anniversary the other day since I spoke at South Coast Summit. So Keith, you want to talk to us about how people can get involved, what it will entail?
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, thanks, Amy. So yeah, the new Speaker Academy, there's a few people kind of part of the Mentoring Hub team, like myself and Sharon, many others now, because we're speaking more and more, that have got a lot of experience speaking at these different events, like the Baltic Summit that was in Poland that Sharon mentioned. Some of us are going to be speaking at the Power Platform Community Conference in Las Vegas as well at the end of this month. So some of us have got that kind of experience. We've done quite a bit of that. We're just willing to share it if people want that kind of advice. How do they get involved? Are there any kind of places where they can look at lightning sessions, short ones, just to build up their confidence and get started first? So it's kind of information we want to share with others. We're looking at kind of different formats to run that, aren't we, Sharon? Like, whether it be a 6-session program, even with some events, are we going to partner with them to be able to, provide something at an event as well? I don't know, Sharon, if there's anything we can share about upcoming events with that. I've got to be careful what I share there.
Yeah, because we are actually, for those of you who are actually going to be at South Coast Summit, we will be making quite a significant announcement about the new Speaker Academy at South Coast Summit. We've been having we've been doing a lot of hard work in the background, particularly one of our team members who I don't think is on the call tonight, Kaylee Duddy. She has been working hard in the background to set up some resources that we can actually start using. But if we don't, well, no, I'm not going to say any more because I will get in trouble. I'll get my wrist slapped. Although I would love to share it with you tonight. But what I would say is, watch this space over the weekend because we will be actually announcing, what the new Speaker Academy is going to look like going forward.
I was going to have to put you on mute then, Sharon. I thought it was going to come out. I thought I was like, no, save it for the weekend. Come and find us. That's the whole thing. Come and find us at the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, so just conscious of time. So moving then to Victoria, do you want to talk to us about the tech mentoring haven?
Sure. So I did give you a bit of background on my career history. Actually, in a previous life, which is even more unusual than being an operations manager, I was a wedding planner. So I've come full circle in my organizational journey, and I am now an advocate for career switching into tech. So part of the work that the Mentoring Hub are doing is helping people who are potentially side of desk coders, somebody who's got a bit of an interest as a hobby or a side hustle, who are looking to make it a permanent change, and like myself have realized how versatile the space is. Especially, I think it's not talked about enough, but even as a Dynamics platform engineer, you kind of get involved in a bit of everything. There's a bit of consultancy in there's a bit of architecture, and even once you're in tech as a structure, you can still make a career switch within that space as well. So we would be looking to support people who are new to the space, or people who need support. And even, I know, Keith, you supported Sarah with not necessarily career switching, but definitely helping her get a new opportunity in her work. So that's kind of what we would aim to do with other people.
Lovely. Okay. So again, if anyone's interested in being involved in this, or is thinking about a career switch, don't put your hands up now. But yeah, feel free to give us a shout, and we'll happily help.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of the time is, especially once you might have made that initial career switch, you might not actually know what the options are available to you. So you might have come in on an apprenticeship, or you might have come in into a particular role, but you actually, as far as knowing, I mean, I was actually once asked, where does my passion lie, on the dynamic side or on the Power Platform side? And I was like, how do I know? I've only ever done dynamics. What a daft question. That person who asked that daft question actually ended up being my boss, but I mean, that's another thing. But so it is basically providing that kind of, almost like sitting down and having that option appraisal. What are the other, opportunities out there? It's not so much, where does your passion lie, A or B? It's like, what kind of things do you like doing? Like, Vicky said, it's like, do you actually, like getting into the weeds, and like, so, being a developer would be nicer, or do you really actually like, spending time, in the data, and actually, being able to tease out interesting facts from data? So, would getting involved in Power BI and being a data analyst be more up your street? Do you like engaging with people and talking to people? So, that more of a, maybe even a pre-sales opportunity might be better for you. If you don't know what those kind of like, career pathways could look like, then you don't know what you don't know. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we're trying to actually address with the Tech Mentoring Haven, is to basically try and actually bridge that gap of those unknown unknowns.
I was just about to become a project manager, come and see me. You missed that one out, Sharon.
Sorry.
I was just about to say that I'm in the middle of doing a test pioneer program internally to look at, because you can do skills gap analysis and you can look at people's CVs to see whether or not they've got any previous tech history, but actually looking at people's interests and hobbies has enlightened us into who would potentially be an ideal recruit in the future, because you can teach a lot of people tech skills, but if you also have internal business knowledge as well, that's valuable. So
yeah,
that's something that I would be looking to bring to the Tech Haven as well.
Yep.
Okay. If anyone wants more information about the Mentoring Hub, what we do, want to be involved, I'm going to leave this up here a second so that everyone can see it, but I am going to open the floor to any questions. So has anybody got anything that they want to ask us that we haven't covered? You can pop it in the chat as well. I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat. Has anybody got anything?
Yes, hi.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
we can.
Okay, this is really interesting, you guys. Thank you so much for hosting this. I'd like to be involved in this. I think because this is speaking to me, because A, I just moved into the UK from another country, and B, I'm a career switch as well, like some of you. And I'm finding it a little bit hard to just apply without putting my face, just like everything's online these days. So this is perfect. I'd like to join. I'd like to learn more about it. And I missed the tech part. If you guys can, because I used to be in sales and I switched into development at a later stage of my career. But I'm finding it hard to just making the next step in my career. I think I'm still a beginner to medium level, and I'd like to make the step into the. I'm not sure if you have anything to say about that.
I mean, absolutely. I actually had a 30-year career in social housing before I moved into the tech world. So, you can make that career switch in later life. It's very possible indeed. And you can actually progress to, a reasonably senior level in it. If you scan the QR code, that will take you to our link tree. And just let us have your details, name, telephone number, email address. I believe that is what we're asking for at the moment. We will have a new version of the form that is linked to our link tree that will be launched at the weekend, which will be a little bit more specific to the different programs that we're running. But one of the things that I can't talk about tonight, because I will get my wrist slapped, is we are actually looking at a future partnership where we will help on, which will help us help you on that upskilling side of things as well. So, I mean, we've talked a lot about mentoring, about the essential skills side of things, about the support side of things, but completely agree that what we've actually quite often found is that you can join courses like the Level Up and the Power Up program, but you're almost like left on your own without actually having a mentor alongside you if you're doing a training course. Whereas if you've got a mentor alongside you, we can point you in the right direction of some training courses depending on where you are in your career at the moment. And like we said, on what direction you're looking at going in, we can actually be there alongside you to support you on that journey. And then again, other resources that we can actually help provide you with are those type of resources that will help you go through interview skills, that will help you go through what does a good CV look like, what does a good LinkedIn profile look like, does a good what's the word I'm looking for? Examples of your experience. So I know that, John, you've actually built out a number of different projects, personal projects yourself, that you put into your resume, don't you? That you actually showcase your technical abilities. They don't necessarily have to be something that you've done with your job. You can actually kind of like build out personal projects, can't you, to actually showcase what your technical abilities are like.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what my blog really started off as. And then I basically had to start asking my wife for ideas. She's got quite a lot, quite good.
Yeah.
Start at home. Always use cases at home. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So just, it's like your job might actually kind of like restrict you on what you're actually able to do at the moment, but that doesn't restrict your imagination and what you can actually do at home and where you might actually be able to go, and also where you actually might then be able to do some volunteering work for. A very good friend of mine and John's actually did some work for a charity called correct me if I'm wrong here, it's Facial Palsy, John, that Mike created the virtual bot for their website. So, this is nowadays, a very common, front-facing website, which actually has a chat bot on it. This was going back a little while, and Mike actually basically created this, chat bot, which would be able to look over all the facial palsy documents and answer questions for people who may well have been in distress when they were actually reaching out to the charity because they didn't understand what was going on. And it was transformative for that charity. Those kind of things, great ideas on how you and ways that we can actually volunteer into the wider community to then actually be able to showcase, what we're learning on and how we can actually, show to potential employers, what the art of the possible is if they take that, if they look at us and don't just look at, what we've done on our day job, but what our potential is and what those transferable skills are.
Anybody else got any questions? Everyone's still eating pizza quite clearly. Okay. Well, I think it leaves us to say thank you very much for having us this evening. I know it's a little bit different to what you would normally have. Sharon, any final words from you?
I mean, as Amy said, for those of you who are in the south of England or are going to be at South Coast Summit on the Friday and Saturday, come up and see us. You won't miss us. I mean, my bad. I should have actually worn my my Mentoring Hub T-shirt and hoodie today. But believe me, you won't miss us. There is on the back of the of the hoodies, there is our Mentoring Hub logo. So if you see somebody wandering around with a hoodie or a T-shirt with the Mentoring Hub logo on it, just come up and grab us and talk to us. One of the important things that we're looking for, that if you go through to our LinkedIn, our LinkedIn website or our link tree and fill the form in, is especially with not so much with the New Speaker Academy, but especially, although all feedback is very, very welcome, but especially with the Tech Mentoring Haven. The reason we call it a haven is because we want it to be a safe space, and we want to make sure that we actually understand what you need from us. There's a lot of courses out there. There's a lot of mentoring out there, which it almost, it is, I mean, sometimes that's very good for delivering things in a certain way. It's like the essential skills courses, to actually have a framework put around you, to make sure that you actually have those basic skills that you actually need, essential skills as we call them. We don't like to call them soft skills. To actually have those, that's good. What else do you need from us, though? Actually tell us what you need from us. Help us actually design these these programs, so that we're actually not just, making the assumption that we know best. We want to learn from you what you need from us.
Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you.
I think we can hand back over now. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, everyone. There's loads of rounds of applause for that session. It's an important topic to talk about. There were some strong, feelings and emotions and stories in that. I think you have to be a certain type of person if you're not at least slightly affected by some of the things that were shared there. So it's nice that we talk about these things, and nice to know that there are ways that we can help each other, and ways that we can get help, and ways that we can learn and grow and everything else. So slightly different from our regular scheduled broadcasting, but it's nonetheless, I think, an important thing that we need to talk about, especially for a lot of us who are career switchers, for a lot of us who have had mentors and mentees and things like that, about how we all grow and learn and stuff like that. So right, we are bang on time. Like, I'm really surprised. Usually we're over or under by this point, so it's all groovy. We'll take a quick 5-minute comfort break. Anyone wants to go grab a drink? I'm sure the mentoring people will probably go grab their pizzas now. Just kidding. I didn't send you all pizzas to your house because I don't know where you live. But the hope is that you have it in the freezer, maybe.
Who's at the door? Domino's. Yeah, thank you.
Just Bill and CJ. Yeah.
Do not re-expense that to me. My pizza was delicious, by the way. M&S is where it's at with pizza. But yeah, I'll do you guys a 5-minute break. We'll start back at 5 past. Okay. I'm gonna stick around anyway, so you can talk to me for 5 minutes if people want to. I'm definitely going then. Ask the Matspert.
Absolutely. Bye.
But if you are hungry, by the way, especially our presenters, please do get off and get some food, and have a break. So.
On your own?
Me, yeah, probably. Didn't save. Oh, that's supposed to say 705. Hold on. I can fix this. Maybe that's how you do it. Spoke to Maz today.
You went to where?
Spoke to Maz today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in his new role in Denmark. Seems good. Asked him if he's got a job going, just in case.
Yeah.
You never know what can happen in the UK at the moment. I'm a child of an immigrant, so
Are you?
well, both my grandparents are Irish, and my wife's mum is Irish. So.
Well, surely you've got an Irish passport then, and like doing a Joe Griffin.
I've been meaning to get an Irish passport, but they make you jump through hoops to get it. You have to go to an Irish social club and pay them to give you to send a form in the post to you. But I'm maybe going to Ireland next year, so I might just come over there anyway. Have you told all the program managers to not push out loads of updates to generative pages before your demo right now?
I'm hoping that James has, because he's the one closer to the team than I am. Yeah.
I messaged Jason from Product Group and was like, he actually messaged me saying good luck for the session, and I was like, thank you, but absolutely no updates to our environment and tenant.
Was it like good luck, or was it like good luck?
Yeah, it's like good luck. Let's embrace non-deterministic functionality.
Yeah, there you
go. Should be all good, I think.
That's good. That's good. I say I'm just trying to start pushing all the buttons in all my environments and see what new things pop out. Just ahead of PPCC. So it's my favorite time of year is you go in and you just go click random things and see what pops up. Is around
Ignite as well, isn't it?
Ignite and build.
Yeah. These things that oh, you haven't announced that. I wonder what that is.
I think Ignite. Well, both of them will be pretty good. I mean, the cab stuff from last week was really good to be a part of. So I'm pretty optimistic, to be fair, for what's coming.
That's good. I have the fun game of do I know about this? Is it under NDA, or can I blog about it?
And same with both are as well. It is a scary thing.
It's a fun game, isn't it?
Sounds
You're not going to Vegas, are you, Cookie?
Sounds like we need a new pilot.
I am not going to Vegas. I am going to Ignite though. So
your boss let you go to that one then, did
he? Yeah, he's quite generous, my boss.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah. Looking forward to Ignite. Not so much Power Platform Conference. Just jealousy, I think it will be.
That's what it seems like. I've still not made it to Power Platform Conference. One day. And Christine Aguilera is going to be there as well. I never know.
Well, that doesn't really give me any joy about going there. So I'd rather not.
You're not. You don't want to sing dirty and dance.
No.
No, okay. Just checking.
No.
Are you not a genie in a bottle?
No.
Yeah. Definitely don't want to rub you the wrong way. And on that bombshell,
I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah, I mean, I was ready to do an introduction, but you can share your screen if you want. So I want to say a big thank you to Carl Cookson and James Connelly, who are our experts here. I mean, more so James than Carl, in generative pages. And then I'll talk you through from tech to adoption. You're in very good hands, especially James.
Yes, thank you. I'm assuming you can see my screen.
Yeah, trying to.
And yeah, I just want to echo, just reiterate what Sharon says about mentorship. I think that's what she's doing, what she's driving towards is really a great thing that we should all be embracing. And I was at Capgemini and saw the benefit of it there, and since then, so those guys are really pushing the boundaries on this sort of thing. And as one of the organisers of South Coast Summit, please do come down. Tickets still available at all good record shops and at the website. So please do come. It's a free event on Saturday. There's awards dinner on Friday, which Keith, I know, is up for an award, and Sharon's up for an award, and other user groups are up for awards. So please go to their sites as well, and to make sure that you're getting involved with this wider community and giving them your support. Okay, James doesn't like doing this bit, so I'm doing the intros, which is me. And again, sponsors, these guys really need your support because they give us so much. James, over to you.
Cheers, Carl. Hi, everyone. I'm James Connelly, a Power Platform Technical Lead at Network Rail. So we run the UK rail infrastructure. And yeah, my role ranges from solution architecture all the way through to managing a pro dev team and enterprise agreements and licensing and all the fun stuff. But yeah, a real close topic to me. We're going to talk about generative pages and using natural language to generate pages in model-driven apps in Power Apps.
And that's me, Carl Cookson. I'm independent now, so I work on my own and work with clients far and wide, try and help them along the way. So developer, born and bred, but now more of an architect and more of a discussion around anything and everything around the Power Platform. Microsoft MVP for the last 5 years, 5th year anniversary in December. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So previously worked for Capgemini and Avanade, so some of the bigger players in the market, but also some of the smaller ones as well. So what's our agenda? We're going to look at what they are, where you find them, etc. And then James is going to talk about how do we use them in the enterprise, and that's pretty one of the key subjects here. So James is can introduce himself really, but I'll big him up because I am just the fluff man here. I know that he's the one that with all the knowledge and all the skill, and I'm just here to prod him along and get him to these things and be his admin. So how do we use Gen Apps in the enterprise? And that's where James is really strong. What is its place currently in the enterprise? Then I'll do some demos, and hopefully the slaughter of my firstborn will be enough for the demo gods to allow us to use Gen Apps. They are they're not exactly the easiest things to demo because what you get is different every time. And then we'll talk about the return on investment for using them and what's coming. And we'll talk a few things about some other things that are in the generative space within the Power Platform that we can start using, and look at the next steps, where it's going, and what you should be doing as your next steps. So, generative apps, what are they? AI-built apps within the contents of a model-driven app. So that's pretty key there, that it's all within a traditional model-driven app as we know it. So within the guise of your customer service or your field service application, or your general case management environment, or whatever you've built on a model-driven app. But it gives you that brief and gives you that capability beyond the capabilities of model-driven apps. They're all quite formal and quite structured as a model-driven app. And you can use tools like PCFs and Canvas pages and things like that to go and beyond. But this is taking it a step forward. It's generating apps for you with some of your normal language, natural language skills rather than any coding skills. So it's AI built, but you're in control. You can see the code, you can tweak it, you can use your favorite or your friendly developer to tweak it, but also it allows you to really get into depth into these new and sexy interfaces. It can utilize images and current table structures to provide you design guidelines and allow it to build images from pictures you've taken. And James has got a great story about that that was used within the EPPC recently. And it's an iterative process. So you will be going back and looking at it again and doing it again and tweaking it and changing it and making an adjustment and getting it to exactly where you want. And then you'll do the next iteration. It'll go slightly pear-shaped. So you'll have to revoke that one and go back to where you were and try again. So it's that recycling. And that's the same for development, right? No one gets it perfect every time. So it's that iterative process that it's building on to make sure that your code is as you want it and the functionality as you need it. But a few of the things that it's not. It's limited to model-driven apps. So wouldn't it be great to have all this complexity on Canvas apps, all these things that, Canvas apps are low-code functionality. So not even getting away from all of that and creating it in Canvas apps. We can't do that yet. Even though the underlying technology for both of these is React, and we'll see that later, we're still limited into model-driven apps. There's no virtual agents. Sorry, no virtual tables. So the beauty of Canvas apps and virtual tables within model-driven apps is that you can link them up to any data source, but we've not got that yet. These are the things that they know about, but they're going to change. When I first did this deck with the guys in Manchester with James, it wasn't Fluent, as in Microsoft as a design language they call Fluent, which is how your control should be, how a date format control should be, how a drop down should behave, how a calendar should pop up and display its data, etc. And that's got this whole plethora of controls that are all based on Fluent, which is a design pattern that they want to embrace and keep it to use across all of your controls. And that's what model-driven apps based on, and what anything you do in React should be based on. But until recently, and I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and I only saw it this week when we were reviewing this, it hasn't been that. So, but now we can, and I'll show you that in a minute. They're not solution. They are solution aware because it's a model-driven app, but you can't move them. And I think this is going to be one of the sticking points for being production ready effectively, because without that, you can't tweak your app in dev, get someone to test it, and get it into production. So there's no ALM, effectively. At this moment, it is very much a sandbox tool. And finally, it's US only, and I still think it's US only, James, as far as I know. So that really does make a restriction on, certainly for us over in this side of the water, and where our data is stored. So yeah, and the big one, we're still in preview. So I expect announcements soon on that. I don't know whether it will be Vegas or San Francisco, but I think they'll be lining something up to at least push us further towards when they're going to realize that. I'm hoping it's not going to be one of those always in preview features. There seems to be a lot of investment in it, so hopefully that we'll get it out of preview soon, and they'll fix some of these things that are limitations and give us a roadmap into where they're coming to, where they're going to. James.
Cheers, Carl. Yeah, so in terms of generally available, I believe they're looking to roll out to the US very soon over the next couple of months. I think as a feature, they're so powerful, and if you know from any people who are part of the early access programs like we fortunately were, there's a clear place in the enterprise. So I believe by the end of the year, it certainly will be generally available starting off in the States. I'm literally pinging their project manager in the background here to see if if he's got any clear timelines on roadmaps. So if I get a clear answer, then I'll share it with the group, as long as obviously I don't get hit with the NDA stuff. So yeah, I've actually just finished work and actually just talking about generative pages and generative AI in Power Apps, including Plan Designer, where we can shape a solution with our agents and become agent bosses. So yeah, just come back from the office. So exciting times ahead. In terms of place in the enterprise, for me personally, and for us at Network Rail, who are quite prolific users of Power Platform, so we're one of the top 20 users in the UK in Power Apps. And for me, the generative pages and generative AI, including Plan Designer, is arguably one of the most exciting functionality that's come to the toolset over the last few years. And for me, like I mentioned in the slide here, it's true rapid solution development. So being able to prompt with natural language, in my case English, and being able to basically sit down with our customers in Network Rail and shape a solution from start to finish with Plan Designer, and more specifically in this session, generative pages, to shape our user interface and our user experiences with our customers next to us, is true rapid solution development, and certainly rapid prototyping, where traditionally maybe we would be able to build a Kanban board, like we'll talk about later, probably in weeks with my poor coding skills now. We're talking minutes with our customers, being along the journey where we can get feedback from them. We can say, or they can feedback to me personally, or to our designers or business analysts, and basically, we can add filters, we can add different stats cards at the top of the page, all using natural language within minutes. So it's true rapid solution development, in my opinion. Like Carl says, feels weird saying Carl, like Cookie says, Gen Pages isn't going to be the answer to everything, but certainly if we can shape a solution with our customers quicker than ever, then it's a great start. As an organization at Network Rail, we've been very Canvas app heavy. I think model-driven apps out of the box certainly aren't the most aesthetically pleasing of things until you start obviously adding custom code. But generative pages, for me, actually makes model-driven apps at our organization even more useful than what they are initially. So as I mentioned in the slide on screen, it's true rapid development. Like I basically did an exec session to showcase generative AI to our exec team, and took some requirements from an email, took real basic requirements, in fact, worked with M365 Copilot to perfect or get a good prompt going and some documentation going, then moved to Plan Designer, which we're not really going to show today, to start building our solution, and then shaping some user interfaces and user experiences that we'll show later today, all with natural language. And we got a pretty good minimum viable product between us, and between those products within about 55 minutes. So again, true rapid solution development, that we can bring people together, and that's what it's all about for me. Bringing our customers closer to the technology, bringing business analysts, bringing testers, etc., all close to technology as possible. So yeah, initially generative pages had a significant return of investment for Network Rail during the early trials. We've been part of the early access program, so of course we can't leverage generative pages in the production state, but I've got a Kanban board that would be usable if it was generally available within 15 minutes rather than a couple of weeks, and that's just one page. So for us, that would be around about a £5,000 saving, huge saving just from one one page for one solution. I think generative pages also reshapes the role of our user interface or user experience designers. So when it becomes production ready as a feature, I think as developers, we can start to shape a solution with Plan Designer and hand off the UI UX to our designers to sit down with our customers, like I say, and shape pages within model-driven apps. And that, of course, frees up our developers to then go and invest their time elsewhere, or maybe more complex technical pieces of work like custom APIs or similar functionality. And I think having, again, like I said, having the customer on board throughout the journey is really powerful, and the technology is genuinely agile focused, being able to refine things in front of our customers where we previously might not have done. And traditionally, design would be done in Figma at our organization, so outside the context of the product. But Generative Pages enables us to actually shape designs, but in the context of Power Apps with actual test sample data in the background. And of course, our customers can start to play around with those pages with us along the journey. Like I mentioned, I feel like generative AI within Power Apps and Gen Pages specifically can be used within our customer workshops. Previously at Network Rail, we would have a day-long workshop capturing requirements, and the customer would get a report off the back of it. But actually, generative AI in the context of Plan Designer and Gen Pages, like I've mentioned, actually brings to life a solution on the day where we've started to talk about the solution we're going to develop, rather than weeks later after a report has surfaced. Again, we're shaping the solution quicker than ever. I think Gen Pages can be used by business makers. So we've got prolific citizen developers, or business makers, as I like to call them, at Network Rail. We've got around 2,500 of those. Pro developers, designers, business analysts. We can all leverage the technology. You don't need a computer science degree to necessarily get stuck in. Of course, you need to start to understand the React code that's compiled from Generative Pages, but we can get some really great designs between so many different personas within our organization. We don't have to be pro developers to use it. And just one last point, for me, Plan Designer and Generative Pages equal solutions within days and weeks, rather than weeks, months, or in fact years in our case sometimes. Sure, generative AI in Power Apps isn't going to be the answer to everything, but I genuinely believe it can expedite solution delivery for sure, and save money at our organization and deliver solutions to our customers quicker than ever before. Cheers, Scott. You're on mute, by the way, Cole.
Mute on it. Right, let me see if I can stop the show. Please tell me if you can see my screen. And okay. So what we've done is that we've got a model-driven app. This is the standard instant view that you would be used to. And what we did here was we used Plan Designer to create data structures for us around looking at failures at stations. So incidents that will occur that would might mean life and death, might mean, you know, the bin's full. So each of those would have a traditional model-driven app with some revisions of the incident, some feedback to the incident. They've got regions and they've got statuses. And everything below here is the very much the iterations that what we've done to create the apps that we're going to show you today. So both starting from the Plan Designer, we got to this point. So all we've done is fed it with an instruction, and James has got that prompt about wanting to create multiple tables, etc., and all the integrations before. So we haven't really done anything manual as such yet. And what we need to do in to add a new generative page is just to say add page. Now they've changed this recently. This just used to go straight to describing a page, but now they've actually given us options, which is good to see, and they're evolving. So let's go and describe a page. And I've got a prompt that I did earlier, and I'll just show you that prompt in the view here. To view all the instance, I want to utilize a Kanban board which shows instance by status. Users should be able to add and drag the instance around on the board. Okay. Hello.
Do you want to zoom in a little bit when we get to other bits? Yeah.
I say that because it does.
I've noticed funky things to the thing, so it's just I don't think at this bit we're that bothered, but like maybe the rest of it.
I think if I change this to a fixed thing and then zoom in, it might be better. Yeah. So that's a very simple prompt. That's what I start with. As you can see, it's evolving. Now we get GPT-5, but let's go with that and see what happens. So it's going through with the original first agent to understand the problem, and it lists a load of the things that it's going to do. So if we just keep going on that, you can see these are the things that it's wanting to do. For example, now use Fluent v9 components or your ULM. It's been told to use Fluent, and it's creating a load of code here, and it's giving me a load of instructions about what we're going to do. So we're going to use statuses. We're going to do drag and drop. We're going to have at least ID, title, and description. And there was an option. It didn't do it this time. So I did this yesterday. It tried to use the default instance table. If you have worked with Dynamics before, or it has done this time, it's used the default instance table. The first time when we did this previously, it just created it just decided that you're going to provide that table later. So looks pretty good though, doesn't it? We've got nice Fluent icons. We've got drag and drop. Really good. Yeah. I can add a new one. Go scroll over here because I don't want to change the thing. And I can add stuff to it. And I can, oh, that's not worked very well. That's over there, look. And that might be the resolution. So we can add a new instant. We've got dragging and dropping. That's pretty neat. For how long did that take me to waffle through that? A couple of minutes. Now, it's not used the instant table that is in my app. It's not used this one because if you remember back in the, I can close this one now. If you remember back in the main application, the incident form, etc., was the instance view was all about passengers and a load of test stuff, obstructions. So it's decided to use the incident table. I didn't give it the instruction on how to do it properly. So let's just try that again. Add a page. And same instruction. Let's add a table or two. Let's add another table. These are all coming from my application. And add a table. And then add the other two. Oh, sorry, excuse me. So you can add this attach image here. So we can add a design here and it would then go and offboard that and look at that design and give you something from that. Image, revision, and region. So we can have 6 data sources. I've filled out 5 of them. I've still got lots of characters left, so I can get very verbose, and that's one of the things that you do need to do. You need to get verbose. Let's try that again. So you can now say it's going to use the specific tables. Nice use of the real table names there. And it's going to do more on that same structure, and hopefully it will create something that is very similar to our previous one, but using the exact tables, using the foreign keys in there to change the statuses, It's telling us that it's going to go and get some of the major things it's going to do is to go and get some of these things in there and display them on the form. And we're worried about accessibility. So let's have a look at what we've got now. So you can tell we're on the right table now. We've now got the same sort of structure. It's also decided to give us the number of feedbacks or the count of the secondaries on that. I didn't ask it to do that, but it's decided that as they were secondary tables, it will do something useful and create this count in there. I can drag and drop still, and hopefully that's gone back and changed the status and update the data in the database, and we're getting a bit more vocal on what we're doing here. So we've got regions in here. That's interesting. So it's decided that these have got a home ticket as well. We get to add incident. We've now got a very different form, but we've now got the ability to choose regions and understand these things, but it's still not quite as expected. But hopefully, incident title we need. Okay. See, that's just doing these things auto-magically. It's decided this is what we need, and that's all we've done. So, okay, that's pretty good. Hopefully that new one has come in. I don't know when we want to call it. Anyway. Okay, let's do an iteration on this then. Let's do, can you add the Network Rail logo to the top left and ensure the title is bolded in the card, which it is, along with adding the date the incident was created, because we want to make sure that we've got that. So let's do that. And this is the iteration coming in now. It's going to go and decide what it needs to add, but it's remaking everything. So this is brand new code. And it's telling us it's got a problem here. So if you want a different logo on us or a specific image, please provide an image or base string. So, okay, that's a bit weird. Let's have a look at what it produces. That's not the Network Rail logo, but we've got bolded. We've got the create date. That was good. We've added all that sort of thing. We can still drag and drop, hopefully. Yeah, that's perfect. But what's that? Let's have a look at the code. What we do here, it's expecting a base 64 version of that logo as an image. Now that's not great, because you'd obviously want it to get off a network logo, off an internet somewhere and use your logo that you've produced. But at least it's tried, and it can't handle images, so that's one of the exceptions. So if I change this to the encoded string I may prepared earlier, he says, needs to get hold of that. It's not copying. Stick that in there. I'll need to do the edit, and so you see that I can do the edit. Is that not done it? I might have to just get this. You see, and anyone that's in understands code better than I do, you probably give me a reason why this is not going to work. We save that. It's not worked. But you see that we've got manual changes as a new version. So you can go back and undo that if I wanted to, because it didn't work. Or you can restore this version. So if I want to do something on the spur of the moment or something I don't want to do, let me just add another variation. Add a bit more color in the board and make the incident button pink. It's very easy to go back to where you were. So again, it's regenerating. It's used my manual code, and we'll save that, but it's now got rid of it. So it's now you're gonna have to go and edit it again if you wanted to. And it's gonna try and give us a different version. So the code is still being generated. We can go and edit that code if we wanted to, but we're going to get into that functionality again, and we're there. Now, I do some React development. I have done React in the past, and there's a few things that are not as you'd expect in there. You know, the code, for example, is in one big file, which is not ideal. There is limitations in a lot of these things that it's trying to get around because of what it's trying to do, that we're going to have to resolve before it gets to live, really. But it's done a pretty good job of taking my instruction. It's certainly more colourful, and I do have a pink incident button. So yeah, it's done a pretty good job. And this is what James was talking about, really. It's not production ready, but I've just done 3 sentences and I've got to a point where I can have a conversation with one of my users and say, oh, actually, can we tweak that so that these things are different? And what I've got is code that as a developer, I can go away and just copy all this and do my best endeavors to make it into production ready code. It really is a lot easier for me as a developer to get to that, but get past that design stage. And that is the exciting part of it for me. It's moving from a very much a low code is great, Canvas apps are great, but it's not as quick as this. You couldn't do any of this stuff easily in Canvas apps and allow it to be there or thereabouts within minutes, as we were seeing. Okay. So the other thing that we wanted to do, we know that we've got these records. Let's start thinking about editing them. So if I go into one of these other tabs here, you've got this other thing that we've done. We've added a region up here, so we've got this filter on here that we've added, and that was just by simply applying that to each of the icons here. So quite an easy thing to do. You can see this is not React. This is how it was a month ago. What, September did we? Yes, a month ago. So we were stuck with this approach, which didn't help. And I actually prompted it to do fluent styling, and its thoughts on that were that we couldn't. Given our constraints on fluent styling, we have used design principles, but still using MUI, which is another material UI, which is the Google version of Fluent. So they're the rules, etc., and tried to, but it didn't really succeed very well. Also on here, we wanted to do some editing, and I don't know if it works on here. It didn't work, did it? The other thing that we wanted to do when we were doing the plus was do these mandatory fields, and what I said to it was, can you use the mandatory fields that are marked on the incident table? You know, a few of those are business required. Therefore, it should have been able to work out that these are the ones that were required. Unfortunately, it said, no, I can't do that. I'll just assume what you want. So it didn't just say no, it tries to please you all the time. And it just basically said, actually, I can't. Okay, so here we've gone to the colourful again. And you can see how we've evolved it. We're doing that iteration. We're getting to that point where we really are getting to that design decisions and tweaks to it, and we can start really evolving. We have got an edit form now, and we've now got it in line. We've made some fields required, and you can't change them. So it's done that and disabling these things. So it is really starting to work out exactly as we want it, and you can see those iterations are really powering on. And that's it for me, really. And what I've done is probably over a couple of hours, I've managed to get to the point here where certainly as a React developer, if I was doing this, it would have taken me weeks. It would take me months probably, but weeks for a decent developer to get to, and we've done it in minutes. And that's the whole exciting thing, and the thing that I really want to get you guys to get involved with is going beyond that functionality and getting to a point where we can start demoing things really quite rapidly. James, do you want to show off effectively? Omar's got his hand up while we wait to swap over. Say, Omar.
A quick one. I'm not sure. Quick one. I'm not sure if you know, but suppose we have these incidents are where do they live? Like on a backend somewhere on a server on Azure?
Yeah, no, this is all Dataverse. So the back end of all of these things we've done is Dataverse, which is the software as a service that Power Platform comes in. So
okay, so the React is the front end, and it's serving things that are sitting on the server.
Yeah. So
if we're
these are
doing
all
any,
software
like,
as a service. This is all Dataverse. So that's we can talk about that offline if you want, Omar. There's some courses that we can get you to introduce to get your understanding better on these things.
All right, thank you.
Andrew first, I think.
Cool. So this is great, and this is like a custom page at the app level. If I want to replace a subgrid on a form with a fancy generated page showing related data in the context of that record, will these be able to do that?
Not currently. I think you're probably about 3 steps from where they are currently with it. This is just effectively a custom page, and that's all you can do. So we're only talking about individual pages on the model-driven app. We can't embed them or do any of those things that we can do with PCS and the rest of them. So our jobs are safe still, effectively, until they can get to that point.
Okay. Carry on with embedded canvas apps then.
Yeah, effectively, yeah. Alexandra?
Yeah, hi. So in order then to for users to use it, they need the normal Power Pages licenses or
Power Platform licensing, Dataverse licensing. So if you've got an app Dataverse license, you'll be able to play. It's not Power Pages, it'll be Dataverse licensing.
Okay, and that's a normal like Power Platform basic user.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Martin?
Hi, I think I'm possibly simply repeating what you said earlier on. So it generates the code as you're doing all of this. And do you see this as you can kind of run those design sessions, get that UI looking broadly as agreed, so everyone's got it on the screen and colors and order and stuff, but then you can kind of grab the code and go and use that elsewhere? Yeah, so although it's not solution aware and all of those other things, you have got some code that you could take elsewhere and do something with it.
You can, and I think that's probably, a React developer would look at the code and go,
yeah.
But it gives you that starting point to say this is the look and feel, and this is what I want, and these are the these are the hints and tips for a developer. Someone that is not a purebred React developer, to go and look at it and start using the right things, and gives them a step up into that point. If you couldn't copy and paste this and stick it into a React and expect it to work. There's a lot on the versioning. There's lots on the life cycle that we have to use that Microsoft have done in the background for us, and have made some assumptions and some great assumptions on that doing it. But as a React developer, you would have to then go through that cycle. But as a proof of concept tool, as a if you've got a a system that is not full blown developed heavily, you could really put this in straight away, and hopefully very soon we could do the dev test production versions of these things that would really give us that we could, you know, iterate this properly. We could get to a point where it's performant, where it's doing all the right things, and we've got it into an app that we can then publish to a production environment.
And can you save it at the end of this? So if you're
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
workshop,
These are all
okay. Yeah.
These are all pages that we've created. You can see all of these.
Right.
James is going to look at these before. So this is all just saved as in the normal way a model-driven app is saved.
So you can kind of run the workshop and then you've still got it available to you afterwards.
Yeah, as long as you don't put it in your production environment and it gets, you know, you just do it in an environment that you can play in. You know, spin up a US environment is the ideal.
Yeah.
Throw it all over there. Don't put too much data in it. Get gem pages to I've forgotten what it's called now. Get that to create the data for you and the structures for you, and then you've got an example data set, and then you've got a look and feel, and then you port that over either with the solution, and then build the functionality on top, or you know you let it burn, and it depends on where you're at with it.
Nice, thank you. All right, I'll stop hogging.
That's okay. Good stuff. James, do you want to take over?
Yeah, no worries. I was just pinging the project manager from Microsoft in the background about the ALM stuff, and they said that well, I accidentally ended up signing us up for an early access program for the ALM stuff with Gem Pages, so it's certainly on their roadmap. If I was to guess in terms of GA, I don't know anything above and beyond what you guys know, but if I was to guess GA in the UK, we're probably looking at maybe early next year. But the success of the feature so far is great, and obviously when ALM comes into its context as well, I think be really strong. I think where we're seeing it in NetworkRail as well, as much as we would love to say that Power Platform's the answer to all of our demand, it of course isn't. But even things like plan design and generative pages can obviously be used in a workshop. If we were developing a traditional full stack app, we can of course do rapid prototyping with our customers, which is another great idea that we can use with generative pages. And hopefully in a few weeks time we'll be a full premium organization, and for me generative AI in Power Apps is a massive enabler for that, to produce solutions at pace as well. Conscious of time, but I mean, you probably saw I've only got one screen, by the way, so if this is bad then I'm sorry, but hopefully you can all see that okay. Yeah. You can probably see at the top here, you know, I can see Cookie's great display pictures, so we can actually collaborate as well. We're working on the same solution, the same app together as well. And for me, the feature has you know, really come a long way over the last few weeks. To be honest, it's iterating so quickly. Cookie showed to be able to edit code that wasn't there, you know, maybe a month or so ago. So it's genuinely developing at pace. So if we go with the Kanban theme, I've gone for like a black and a grey kind of theme. I've got a skeleton here, and I've said, you know, make the page responsive so I can see all cards. I'll play the actual page as well, and like you asked, you can of course save it. You can save the page, come back to it, and like Carl mentions, you can iterate your conversation. So you can imagine here, I've got a customer sitting next to me. I've added some checkboxes, for example, just to kind of get the skeleton going. You might be able to see it. It might be a little bit zoomed out, but in the description of the page, I've basically said add some checkboxes to the page for each status. When a box is ticked, I spelt ticked as ticket. Too much train exposure. Even though I made a spelling mistake, it still knew what I was trying to get at. So when a box is ticked, show the cards and the status type. When it isn't ticked, remove the cards for the relevant status. So you can see here, I've removed resolved, I'm going to remove closed, and it's a real interactive experience. And I'm going to pretend that there's a customer sitting next to me, and I can have a conversational experience and say, add some statistics cards to the top of the page, showing the number of cards per status, add some colors to each status as a dot on the Kanban board. And hopefully my network's pretty good and we can start. It's so quick now that it's actually showing steps that I can't even keep up with. Maybe a few months ago when I was trialing the feature, you were probably talking about, a couple of minutes to generate this code. I've seen about 1,200 lines of React code in about 45 seconds. So really powerful. And as you can see here, it's not bad. Like, it's done what I've said. It's a little bit cramped. It's non-deterministic, as I say. I don't know what I'm going to get for each prompt, but let's hit publish and see where we're at. And hopefully my network catches up. Just while we're waiting for that, I'm going to go back to, I'm going to do a Blue Peter moment. And this is a Kanban board I've had. So I've just added some stats cards. It's added some colors. You can see closed, that's great. It's green, under review, amber. I've also done similar to what Cookie's done, where I've basically asked Generative Pages to add some icons next to the relevant data. And it's been quite intuitive to add some icons. So we've got a person icon regarding who's made the submission. And I've also said, initially in my skeleton page, the Kanban board didn't allow me to move cards, but I've basically said, allow me to drag and update and basically start just moving cards around. So, as I've also said in my prompt, again, I can change it. This white line is a little bit annoying, but I can start to change it. Either I can edit the code directly or have that conversational experience, say, remove the white line. And the prompt that's behind this initially would be, when I update a card and move it to close, add a closure form, and actually show some closure reasons relevant to the UKRL industry. And it said, like, what was the closure? What was the cause, for example? And it's really intuitive, where it's picking statuses or reasons and closure notes. So closure reasons relevant to the UKRL industry. Again, a real simple prompt. I've said add some filters to the top. So we've got location. I don't have any for that particular location. Sure that the formatting and the alignment's not perfect, but again, we're talking minutes for this page to actually take place and actually be generated. So really quick. I'm going to go back to this one. I just wanted to really quickly grab some other stuff. I know we've got 6 minutes left, but Generative Pages also loves code as well. I've grabbed some iframes for some people we might know in the community from YouTube, and I've just gone to YouTube. I've just clicked so get the embed code. So I've not done any code. I've literally just got the embed. So at our organization, videos are really key for many reasons. Maybe we're doing inspections or whatever. Of course, these videos aren't relevant to Network Rail, but I just wanted to show you that Generative Pages loves code too. So I'm going to create a page, and I'm going to describe a page, and I'm going to say create a page to add some videos. I've provided the embed code below. Show the first embed code as the main video and add a video gallery to the bottom of the page for the other videos. And let's see what we get. I'm gonna just literally paste the iframes that I got from YouTube. I'm gonna run the prompt and let's see what happens. Again, traditionally this would take me quite a while to get something that looks quite good. And and the code's starting to generate now. And hopefully we get some videos of some well-known community friends. And here's our friend Scott DeRoe. So not too bad. So we're going to hit save. We've got an embedded video in seconds, and I'm going to publish and continue and save play. And you can see there it's been so quickly just to get a page with some videos. And hopefully we can see our video gallery and play the page. I was just going to zoom out, just going to know we're tight on time. This does sometimes take a while to to show the page. That is one thing, like when you publish. But yeah, as you can see, like again, within seconds, I've got a video. Perfect. Here's my generative page 4. And there's our video. If I can get the page to publish and show in the player, I'll post it in the chat. I know we've only got 3 minutes left, so I'm just going to jump back to the slide pack. But you can see there that Generative Pages loves code, as well as natural language, of course. Traditionally, again, if I was to create a nice looking video gallery, it's going to take me probably a day, a couple of days. But with natural language and my embed code from YouTube, I've got it within seconds. And if I can grab the screenshot, I'll post it in the chat. But Cookie, do you just want to jump to the slides? Because I know we've only got a couple of minutes left. Cool. So yeah, so for me, the return of investment is the fact that I can expedite solution delivery at Network Rail within. So yeah, I can develop solutions so quickly, bring along people along the journey, get feedback from our customers in workshops, feeding in saying, make this text white, let's move this over here, add some videos there. And traditionally we wouldn't be able to do that. Our developers would be working predominantly in isolation, working with Jira tickets that are in Jira boards, and the customer's not really embedded in that journey. Whereas I think this technology is true agile development. I believe when using collaboration with Plan Designer, for example, solution delivery is at least 30 to 40% quicker than if we develop in Power Platform with just manual development. With the help of our AI driven agents, and with obviously using natural language, we can truly expedite solution delivery. And like I've mentioned a few times, customers shapes the solutions quicker than ever before. Having them within workshops, providing us with feedback is so key. In terms of what's coming, I didn't really get an opportunity to show some of the out-of-the-box agents, but if you're aware of the data entry agent, which is where you can take a handwritten note as an image and then use the data entry agent to pick that image and add it as data. Agents like those, along with the data exploration agent that we can potentially talk offline about, where we can show visuals with natural language, all of that is going to come to Generative Pages at some point, hopefully in the new year. So that at the moment, it's just out of the box pages that can leverage that, but those will come into Generative Pages as well. This image of the summary as well is Copilot summaries. If you've got a shared load of data and lots of columns across your screen, Copilot summary enables you to hover over with your mouse the summary icon, and you can summarize the whole view to some extent of that particular row. And that will also come to Generative Pages as well. And GPT-5 is coming too. Again, conscious of time, I don't know if you want to flick over, Cookie. Yeah, a few real quick tips. Be patient. The feature is genuinely evolving at pace. It's evolving daily. Like I said, I've just been pinging the project manager, and some new things have literally just come in. So, be patient, but also be adventurous as well. Like Cookie said, if something doesn't work, you can restore your last prompt, or you can just start to iterate again with your customers as well. And that, things that would take previously weeks or months, we're seeing within minutes to hours. So, you know, let's be patient, be ambitious as well. You know, the worst can happen is you can just undo your prompt and just go back to where you were before. I think Gen Praises responds well to code, like I've just said, and review your React code. Sure, you're going to get a great looking page, but try to understand the React code if you can. When it's live and when it goes into production, you're probably going to have to support it. So try to understand the code that is generated. Gen Pages does add some comments, but if you can add your own comments to get familiar with what the output is. And for me, a conversational experience with Gen Pages is really crucial. So getting your skeleton page, like your color schemes and the real high level functionality is key. But having that conversational experience with input for your new customers, I've found to be really, really worthwhile. And if you see TypeScript or any other code generating when Generative Pages is generating React code, just simply hit stop generating and reprompt. You can just always start again. That's just kind of a little bit of a bug within the feature, but from what I've seen, it's a really powerful feature. Hopefully you can all agree, and you can see pages come to life within minutes that would traditionally take a very long time. So yeah, just hopefully you can give it a go, and you can spin up some environments that are US based and start to play around. And you know, hopefully when we're next talking as a group, it might be GA and we can start using it in production purposes with some ALM as well.
So TypeScript is not supported, you're saying?
No, it's predominantly. Sorry, Carl.
It's React with TypeScript is what it's generating, not JavaScript with React. So that's the fundamentals with the whole of the Power Platform is built on React and TypeScript. So it's just reiterating that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I guess my point with TypeScript is like if you don't see any React, it's purely just TypeScript or some other strange, like some different languages, then definitely hit stop generating is, I guess, my point.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Good. Okay, I think we're done. Please link to us on LinkedIn. James and I's profiles there on that QR code. But yeah, please reach out if you've got any further questions. And hand over back to
you guys.
MCJ.
Drop a link. Can you guys drop a link on where we can learn more about this?
Yeah,
please?
I'm just going to find that now. MCJ.
That was a great session. Thank you both, and thank you to all our speakers tonight who've given up their time to come here and speak to everyone out of the goodness of their heart and still wanting to learn and teach people other things. So thank you to them. I do appreciate we've run over and people have other lives and things like that. So I won't make anyone stay, but thank you all for attending. You can stay if you want to and continue chatting and keeping the conversation going. I'm gonna go and take a break away from my computer, and I highly encourage all of you to do the same. But yeah, thanks for everyone for attending. The recording will be on the YouTube channel in the next few days. And yeah, thanks again to all of our speakers. And yeah, have a nice night.
Thanks all. I'm going to actually get some food because I didn't get pizza. So I'm going to go and eat. But hopefully see you, some of you, at the weekend. And thanks for attending.
Yeah, thanks everyone. If you've got any questions, just feel free